Oh, hello, yeah. Well, good grief, we meander our way towards the end of the week. Despite all the news, there doesn't really seem to be a lot going on. We're sort of waiting for something interesting to happen. My guess is it's going to be the economics stuff. Yeah, no, I don't mean Rachel Reeves's budget, which is pretty much a guaranteed cert in terms of various things that, well, effectively she won't do, because of course she won't do anything that's actually useful. She'll simply do what all the rest of them do, and well, yeah, just leave us to want to consign the Labour Party to the dustbin of history. We need a new progressive movement one way or another. It might be the Greens. I don't really know. We'll have to see about that one, won't we? Probably won't be your party, let's face it. But there's lots of rumblings out there. Certainly the stuff from the States is interesting, not just about New York, but about the wider races that there are. A variety of states have decided en bloc to return Democrats, which is going to potentially lead to all sorts of problems for one Mr. Trump in the White House. Still, that'll give him plenty of incentives to, declare a state of emergency or something similar. Very much the sorts of things that various people in this country keep on suggesting. Everything needs a state of emergency, doesn't it? Even though it's not realistically an emergency. It's just simply various people feeling that, well, maybe their bathrooms aren't quite as gold as they should be, if I can just mix up a number of metaphors. But out there's a lot of rumblings as well in the economic sphere, because well, there's that impending stock market crash, and everyone knows that it's coming, but of course, being the smart bunnies that they are, they all think that they'll just ride it out for another few days and make some more money out of it, because nobody wants to pull out too early. Fanar. But there are various indicators which are very much going south. Not just, the AI bubble, which anyone can see is a bit useless. I was complaining the other day to my boss about this notion that why on earth is it that I have to have AI telling me in 3 paragraphs what a one-line email tells me? Really don't want it. Really don't want this stuff. I don't want any of that slop being foisted upon me by billionaires who basically have made some bad business decisions. It's not my problem, mate, although I know you're going to make it so. But yeah, if you cast your mind back to the 2008 financial crash, not saying it is necessarily going to be a 2008 financial crash, but one of the key indicators that people weren't picking up then was the amount of car repossessions in America, because the Americans have to live by their cars. They live in that type of society ever since the Model T Ford came out circa 1920. They've basically built their entire infrastructure around people having to have cars to be mobile. And, well, car repossessions are really spiking, which suggests that that one thing that people can't live without in the States is all going south. Oh dear. There are loads and loads of other indicators out there. What that means, potentially, if we do have a big stock market crash one way or another, or certainly that alleged 20% market correction, whichever way you want to think about it, but I would have thought that 20% is, a crash in anyone's business, and not really quite sure in terms of all that shadow banking and all the crypto stuff that's out there, how far it'll go. But the net result of that will be that people will rush to safe havens, and that will mean that they will want to buy a lot of government bonds, which will make the cost of government borrowing cheaper. I'm not somebody that particularly bothers about the cost of government borrowing, because historically it's been very high, basically ever since we invented what might be considered modern capitalism around about 1600, if not before. So the issue is, well, just at a time when things are likely to look up for the government, I know not in terms of a generic recession, but I mean just in terms of their borrowing, when they could, do something for, the second time in 2 decades, they'll decide not to, because after all, we can't pay ourselves more than we can afford. We certainly can't borrow and add to the national debt to actually, stimulate the economy like, you have to during a recession. So all of those very, very, very knowledgeable people, the ones that really know about economics, will be pressurising the Labour Party not to do anything other than, slash spending. Because, who can't have growth, a la Richard Tice? He's a businessman, So that'll all be there, and the Labour Party, Rachel Reeves et al., being the stalwart defenders of, well, good sense, and the working classes everywhere will capitulate basically after about 15 and a half seconds and decide that the key thing that we need is a lot more austerity. Yes, indeed. Yes. doing exactly the wrong thing at exactly the wrong time is exactly why you need exactly the wrong people in place. And we have all of those glorious things, don't we? Hooray, hooray, hooray. Anyway, do have a lovely day if you can do, and yeah, it probably won't be that bad because we are all expecting it, at least very much so. But yeah, I always got a little smile at market corrections. I thought markets just self-corrected, and they didn't do it at enormous enormous movements left or right, up or down or whatever it might be. But that's just me, I guess, knowing some stuff about economics. Yeah. Do have a lovely day if you can do.